Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next 30 minutes. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Shankar meets Russian counterpart Sergey Lavrov in Moscow, discusses bilateral ties, global and multilateral issues, reviews preparations for the 23rd Annual India-Russia Summit. At COP30, India calls for developed countries to reach net zero earlier and deliver climate finance in trillions, says summit should be a COP of implementation and of delivery on promises. UN Security Council adopts US resolution on Trump's Gaza plan, authorizes transitional authority and international stabilization force for the enclave. Trump hails the UNSC vote. National Investigation Agency arrests another key associate of Red Fort car blast accused. Jas Bilalani arrested from Srinagar. And on to the details now. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Shankar met Russian counterpart Sergey Lavrov in Moscow. The leaders held discussions on bilateral partnership covering trade and investment, energy, mobility, agriculture, technology, culture and people-to-people exchanges. They also exchanged perspectives on regional, global and multilateral issues. Shankar and Lavrov also reviewed preparations for the 23rd Annual India-Russia Summit, set to take place in just 3 weeks from now.
This particular occasion, for me, is all the more important as we prepare for President Putin's visit to India for the 23rd Annual Summit. A number of bilateral agreements, initiatives and projects are under discussion in various fields. We look forward to the finalization in the coming days. This will certainly add more substance and texture to our special and privileged strategic partnership. We will also be exchanging views on the complex global situation with the openness that has always characterized our ties. This includes the Ukraine conflict as also the Middle East and Afghanistan, amongst others. India supports recent efforts towards establishing peace. We hope that all parties approach that goal constructively. An early cessation of the conflict and ensuring of an enduring peace is in the interest of the entire international community. India-Russia ties have long been a factor of stability in international relations. Its growth and evolution is not only in our mutual interest, but also in that of the world. I look forward to our discussions this evening. Thank you.
While here in New Delhi, Minister of Ports, Shipping and Waterway Sabrananda Sonowal held a meeting with President Putin's aide Nikolai Patrushev. Two sides had fruitful discussions on boosting maritime cooperation, enhancing connectivity and partnership in the Indo-Pacific and Arctic regions. Well, the minister expressed confidence that the shared vision and long-standing friendship between the countries will further advance a strong, future-ready maritime collaboration between our nations. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, India-Russia relations continue to deepen, especially in the maritime domain. And after Bangladesh's International Crimes Tribunal awarded the death sentence to the country's former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, New Delhi said India remains committed to the best interest of the people of Bangladesh. In a statement, India's Ministry of External Affairs said, and I quote, India has noted the verdict announced by the International Crimes Tribunal of Bangladesh concerning former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. As a close neighbor, India remains committed to the best interest of the people of Bangladesh, including in peace, democracy, inclusion and stability in that country. We will always engage constructively with all stakeholders to that end, unquote. And the counter-intelligence Kashmir wing of the Jammu and Kashmir Police on Tuesday launched coordinated pre-dawn raids at several locations across the Kashmir Valley as part of an ongoing terror conspiracy investigation. Now, the official sources said searches are underway in Srinagar, Anantnag and Kulgam. The operation is linked to a case involving a doctor currently under investigation in the Delhi car blast case. Sources added that teams are also conducting searches inside the super speciality hospital at Shireen Bagh, Srinagar. Further details are awaited. Meanwhile, continuing with its probe in the Red Fort area car bomb blast case, National Investigation Agency has arrested another key associate of the terrorist involved in the blast. Jas Bilalani alias Danish, also a Kashmiri resident, was arrested from Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir. NIA investigations have revealed that Jasir had allegedly provided technical support for carrying out terror attacks by modifying drones and attempting to make rockets ahead of the deadly car bomb blast, which killed 10 people and left 32 others injured. Now, the accused, a resident of Kazigand in Anantnag district of Jammu and Kashmir, was an active co-conspirator behind the attack and had worked closely with the terrorist Umarun Nabi to plan the terror carnage. Well, on Monday, NIA granted a 10-day custody to Umar's co-conspirator Amir Rashid Ali by the Patiala House Court. Kashmir resident Ali was arrested on Sunday. He reportedly conspired with Umar to carry out the terror attack. NIA continues to explore various angles to unravel the conspiracy behind the bombing. Well, the enforcement officials on their part are also undertaking a coordinated operation to ascertain alleged financial irregularities related to Delhi car blast. Officials conducted searches at over 25 premises linked to the Al Falaha group across Delhi NCR. The team is looking at operation of shell companies, accommodation entries and money laundering involving Al Falaha Trust and associated entities. Key personnel handling finance and administration were also covered. Well, India's central state of Chhattisgarh has rolled out a new scheme to lure Maoists into the mainstream. Now, the government has launched Cafe Pandam in Bastar region to provide training and employment opportunities to those who have surrendered. Here's a report from the Ground Zero. Take a listen.
In a bid to bring Maoists into mainstream, Chief Minister of Indian state of Chhattisgarh, Vishnu Deo Sai, has inaugurated Cafe Pandam in the Bastar region to provide employment opportunities. The Chhattisgarh Chief Minister extended his best wishes and stated that the government aimed to support individuals affected by Naxalism or those who have surrendered. The government is committed to assist former Maoists by offering skill development programs.
सरकार का प्रयास है कि जो भी नक्सल पीड़ित हैं या आत्मसमर्पित हैं उनके साथ सरकार अच्छा करेगी, उनको स्किलिंग करा के उनको रोजगार से जोड़ने का काम करेगी। तो उस दिशा में एक अच्छे पहल की यहाँ पर शुरुआत हुई है।
Former Naxalites expressed happiness about their new life and thanked the government for integrating them into the mainstream.
2016 को समर्पण किया। समर्पण करने के बाद हमको यहाँ अभी फिलहाल ट्रेनिंग दी गई हॉस्पिटैलिटी का ट्रेनिंग के बाद हमको यहाँ पंडुम कैफे में अभी हमको जॉब दी जा रही है। इसके लिए मैं बहुत खुश हूँ। उसको थैंक यू, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ शासन प्रशासन को।
The scheme provides a new lease of life to those extremists who have laid down their arms and seek a new beginning in life. Bureau Report, DD India.
Well, Assam's Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary in Moregaon district, known as the home of the highest density of one-horned rhino population, has witnessed the arrival of various species of migratory birds. Range Officer of Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary, Pranjal Barua, said the migratory birds are coming from various parts of the world, including Siberia and the Tibetan part of the world. He added that last year, around 56 to 60 species of water birds came to the sanctuary, and this year, more than 60 to 70 of them are expected.
Actually, we have started our tourist season from October 23rd, and from that day we are getting a lot of tourist footfall, and accordingly we also getting a lot of migratory birds this year in the first week of November. Now they are coming from the various part of the world, including Siberia and Tibetan part of the world.
It was good, and morning it was very beautiful. Very green, lush forest. I think is comparable, not comparable means I've seen many, but that was very good.
It was a nice experience. We saw the migratory birds, wild boar, buffaloes, everything we saw. Good experience, nice forest, green forest was nice, and the safari was also nice. He was driving very carefully.
I think everybody, all people from all over world need to come to that place and feel it.
And now let's take a look at updates related to COP30 underway in Brazil's Belém. India has urged developed countries to demonstrate greater climate ambition and honour their commitments while delivering national statement at COP30 in Belém, Brazil. Union Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Bhupendra Yadav, called for COP30 to be remembered as a COP of implementation and a COP of delivery on promises. While the minister conveyed India's appreciation to the government and people of Brazil for hosting COP30 in the heart of the Amazon, he further stressed the need for affordable, accessible climate technology and stated that climate technology must be free from restrictive intellectual property barriers.
Under the visionary leadership of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, India has demonstrated successfully that development and environmental stewardship can advance in tandem. India's emission intensity has declined by over 36% since 2005. India's non-fossil fuel-based energy capacity, currently around 256 gigawatt, accounts for more than half of its total electric installed capacity. An NDC target achieved 5 years ahead of this schedule. Initiatives such as the International Solar Alliance and Global Biofuel Alliance have become global platform for performing affordable and clean energy.
Well, Bhupendra Yadav also addressed the high-level ministerial segment on the International Big Cat Alliance COP30. He called for renewed global cooperation to protect the big cat species and their habitats as part of integrated climate and biodiversity action. The event was also attended by the Minister of Agriculture and Livestock, Government of Nepal, Dr. Madan Prasad Pariyar. The minister emphasized that ecological challenges today are deeply interconnected and require linked solutions. He informed the gathering about India's role as home to 5 of the world's 7 big cat species and outlined the country's major conservation successes. Well, Yadav also met UK Secretary of State for Energy Security and Net Zero Edward Miliband on the sidelines of the COP30 summit and discussed various issues related to the climate. Now, the minister presented India's views on multilateralism, ecological protection and dealing with the vagaries of climate change at the session on pioneering progress, how India is powering the rapid roll out of renewable energy. Well, India has been successfully decoupling economic growth from emissions, working with the clear understanding that economic activity and green growth policy work together. He highlighted the need for collaboration on climate resilience, particularly in vulnerable regions. And addressing the lead IT industry leaders roundtable during COP30, Bhupendra Yadav underscored India's commitment to collaborative, technology-driven and sustainable industrial transitions under the Paris Agreement. He said India continues to take forward ambitious domestic, regional and global initiatives spanning renewable energy, disaster resilience, biodiversity conservation and interventions in the industrial sector, led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. As many as 18 industries and research institutions from India and Sweden will soon initiate projects involving value creation from industrial byproducts and gases, carbon capture and utilization, artificial intelligence for process optimization, electrification and hydrogen-based industrial heating. Meanwhile, COP30 host Brazil on Monday extended negotiations into the night at the UN climate talks as they pushed for a rapid compromise among countries very much at deep odds. Brazil's top goal for COP30 is to deliver an agreement that reaffirms the 2015 Paris Agreement while acknowledging its shortcomings by laying out clear plans for future climate action. Following a difficult first week, Brazil set a deadline for nations to finalize a significant part of the negotiations by Tuesday evening for approval the following day. UN Climate Chief Simon Steele urged negotiators to tackle the hardest issues fast to avoid going into overtime at the summit's close on Friday. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. Britain on way to make refugee status temporary to hasten deportation of illegal migrants. Shooting World Championship in Egypt comes to a close with Indian shooters claiming 13 medals. And the 4-day cultural extravaganza Chilika Sheldak International Folk Carnival to conclude in Odisha. Stay with us for a sneak peek.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Hello. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout ho gaya.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. And moving on, United Nations Security Council on Monday voted in favor of Donald Trump's Gaza peace plan, which includes the deployment of international forces. 13 countries, including the UK, France and Somalia, supported the proposal in the UNSC vote. Russia and China abstained from voting. Here's a report.
The Security Council has adopted a US resolution detailing the mandate for the Gaza International Stabilization Force outlined in Trump's ceasefire plan. The resolution was passed with 13 votes in favor and 0 votes against. It paves the way for the crucial next steps for the fragile ceasefire in Gaza. Russia and China abstained from the vote. Trump hailed the UN Security Council's vote, claiming it would lead to further peace all over the world.
The Board of Peace, and it's going to be comprised of myself and leaders of other very important nations and very respected nations, and it's going to be something I think is going to be very important. It was just approved. It was just endorsed by the United Nations. It was pretty great. It's a big thing. I think it's one of the most important things the United Nations will ever do, actually.
However, on the eve of the UN vote, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu restated his government's adamant opposition to the creation of a Palestinian state.
Our opposition to a Palestinian state in any territory west of the Jordan. This opposition exists is valid and has not changed one bit. I have been rebuffing these attempts for decades, and I am doing it both against pressure from outside and against pressure from within. So I do not need any affirmation, tweets, or lectures from anyone.
The resolution also welcomes the establishment of a Board of Peace as a transitional administration in Gaza. It authorizes the Board of Peace to establish a temporary international stabilization force in Gaza. Countries will contribute personnel to the force in close consultation with cooperation with Egypt and Israel. Hamas rejected the resolution, saying it failed to meet Palestinians' rights and demands. Anamika Pandey's report for DD India.
Well, the Republican-controlled U.S. House of Representatives will vote on Tuesday on forcing the release of investigative files of the late sex offender Epstein, with passage seen as all but guaranteed after President Donald Trump dropped his long-standing opposition. Now, Trump's reversal late on Sunday came days after a House petition gathered enough support to force a vote, a rare instance of House Republicans defying the president's wishes.
US lawmakers are bracing for a major showdown this week as the House prepares to vote on releasing long-sealed government files on convicted sex predator Jeffrey Epstein. The Epstein Files Transparency Act is expected to advance with a rare bipartisan backing after more than 100 Republicans joined Democrats in demanding the documents be made public. Lawmakers recently released a trove of emails obtained from Epstein's estate. In one such message, Epstein wrote that Trump spent hours with one of the victims at his house and another referred to the president as dirty. The revolt forced President Trump to reverse his opposition, saying lawmakers should vote for release, claiming he has nothing to hide.
Let the Senate look at it, let anybody look at it, but don't talk about it too much because honestly, I don't want to take it away from us. It's really a Democrat problem. The Democrats were Epstein's friends, all of them, and it's a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax, and I don't want to take it away from really the greatness of what the Republican Party has accomplished over the last period of time.
The call for release of files continues to gain momentum. Many more survivors have not intensified their appeal for the same. A new video has also surfaced featuring the survivors who have urged Congress to act. Many are addressing the media directly and asking for the release of the files.
So much pain, so much pain, so much pain.
I beg you to release these files once and for all. I mean, there is no valid reason for refusing to do so. So you can't claim that it is to protect the victims. I mean, when it is the victims, myself and the victims, that have been calling for the files to be released.
If the bill clears the House, it faces a tougher path in the Senate, and Trump could still veto it, but public and political pressure for answers continues to grow. Many MAGA supporters have voiced their opposition to his stance earlier, which many believe played a part in Trump's reversal vis-a-vis the issue of the release of Epstein files. Anamika Pandey's report, TD India.
Well, Britain announced plans to make refugee status temporary and accelerate the deportation of people who enter the country illegally on Monday. Britain's Labour government has introduced sweeping asylum changes designed to reduce abuse of the system and curb the growing influence of Reform UK, including extending the wait for permanent settlement from 5 to 20 years. Now, the government warned it may impose visa bans on Angola, Namibia and the Democratic Republic of Congo if they refuse to take back illegal migrants and criminals. Also, under her proposals, the government wants to change the interpretation of Article 8 of the ECHR so that family life is limited to immediate family members. Britain also plans to work with similar countries to reassess ECHR Article 3, arguing that its broadened definition of inhuman and degrading treatment makes deportation challenges too easy.
Must act too. We will do so by making refugee status temporary, not permanent. A grant of refugee status will last 2.5 years, not 5. It will be renewed only if it is impossible for a refugee to return home. Permanent settlement will now come at 20 years, not 5. Outside of the most exceptional circumstances, family reunion will not be possible, with a refugee only able to bring family over if they have joined a work and study route and if qualifying tests are met.
Well, on to some sports news. Olympian Gurpreet Singh bagged a silver medal on the final day of the Shooting World Championship in Egypt. Gurpreet came agonizingly close to become the world champion in the 25-meter center fire pistol event, losing out in the gold medal by a whisker in Cairo. This was Gurpreet's second individual medal at the championships, following a silver in the 25-meter standard pistol event at the 2018 edition. Indian shooters ended their campaign with a rich hail of 13 medals, including 3 gold, 6 silver and 4 bronze. They finished in third place behind the China and South Korea. And the 11th Chilika Sheldak International Folk Carnival will conclude in Odisha's Khordha city on Tuesday. The 4-day carnival, being organized on the theme Martial Dance of Asia and Oceania, is a cultural extravaganza that celebrates the rich heritage of India and South Korea. Take a look. right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Kurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.